And we're live. So I keep hearing and I keep reading about Bruce Lee being just an actor and a fake martial artist, as well as some people proclaiming the imminent demise of Jeet Kune. And I got to tell you, it's starting to make me wonder if all of the JKD instructors out there are helping to contribute to this false image of this incorrect image of Bruce Lee, as well as contributing to the ultimate disappearance of his art and philosophy of Jeet Kune. Hello everyone, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel, and welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 92. This is the one that I should have titled Jeet Kune Flash Over Substance Part 1. How are you teaching? Right? I didn't put that on the postcard, but I did put it on the tag for today. So as you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from and hit the like button and, continue to hit the like button throughout the broadcast. So I recall the first time that I heard the phrase flash over substance, it was in a movie. I don't remember the year, but it was a movie called Broadcast News. And it was a scene where one journalist was lamenting the deterioration in the quality of reporting that was being done by news stations, and how they had hired this new anchor, and he thought that the anchor was the personification of this deterioration. And so the line was, he'll just bit by little bit lower our standards where they are important. Just a tiny little bit. Coats them along, flash over substance, just a tiny little bit. So I'm interested in knowing, those of you who are watching and listening to this, where and when you first heard the term flash over substance or flash versus substance, or I've seen variations on it, like style versus substance or something. But I'd be really interested if you would comment on where and when you first heard a similar phrase. So the question becomes, are Jeet Kune instructors promoting, let's call it the flash aspects of martial arts or of Jeet Kune, or are they supporting the substance of the art, right? Or are they promoting the substance of the art? Now, of course, as I am prone to do, I could be reading too much into this and worrying about something that very few people, or a tiny, a minority of people even care about or even think about. So I'll ask you this, which group, right? Which group of Jeet Kune instructors do you think is larger? The one that is interested in the legitimate perpetuation of Jeet Kune, or the one that misguidedly, in my opinion, follows this so-called directive of Jeet Kune, as in, it's just the name, don't fuss over it. So I'd be very interested if you guys would go in the comments and say, which group you think might be larger, right? Because whether we want to admit it or not, right, our art and philosophy is the property of one of the flashiest people to ever come out of Hong Kong and Hollywood. And so if I tell my students to channel Bruce Lee when they're doing a lead sidekick or they're doing a lead back fist, if I'm not careful to guide them on extracting the substance behind what I'm saying, then they might go ahead and extract only the flash aspect, because the flash image is what we are all familiar with. You get it? So I'm not here to tell anybody how to teach their classes or run their schools or whatever, but we were talking about this at dinner last night. I am here to ask questions, to throw bombs, and to cause chaos if necessary, to get people to take a look at what they're doing and fix it if they find it necessary to fix it, right? So flashiness in Jeet Kune can come in different forms. It could be the flashiness of theatrical JKD itself, or it could be the flashiness of the arts. I did the whole series on Jeet Kune associated arts, right? So there are aspects of Filipino Kali, Muay Thai, Boxe Francaise, Pencak, Silat, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all these things. There are flashy aspects of all these arts, right? And so there can be the flashiness of putting these arts into training sequences involving what some people call flowing from one art to the other, right? The idea of entering with one art, following up with another art, and finishing even with a third art. And I maintain that JKD people should always look at these associated disciplines as training methods. But I'm not saying that if you wanted to do a deep dive into Pencak Silat, for example, that you shouldn't do it. Just be sure that you don't call it JKD and kind of explain to your students what it is that you're doing in this deep dive, right? Because if we keep having all these separate classes at our schools, right? So we have a Junfan class, and then we have a Kali class, and then we have a Muay Thai class, and then we have a Savate class, and then we have a Jiu-Jitsu class. Unless we have a specific reason for doing this, and then ultimately we have a class, because we're a Jeet Kune school, right? So ultimately we have a class where everything becomes this unified whole, then we might not be passing on an accurate message as to what JKD is all about, okay? All right, so to wrap this up, let's take a look at an aspect of substance in Jeet Kune. And I'd say that a good guideline for substance in Jeet Kune is what Sifu Inasano always cautioned his instructor group to do. And that was to teach in a way that provided learning experiences that would promote the growth and development of your students. So along the way, right, some instructors discovered that students are more excited and more energized when there's always something new or always something different going on in their classes. And that's what can lead to a spreading out of things, into disparate areas and what have you, as opposed to a single-minded focus on the art and philosophy. And, so when people do that, they make it a point that they always have like a new drill or a new series of drills or something to teach. And sometimes that actually leads to the detriment of the development of skill, of any real skill, right? So it's like Bruce Lee said that the height of cultivation runs to simplicity, whereas halfway cultivation leads to ornamentation. So if you've got, here's the new drill for this month, or here's the focus on these techniques for this month, and then next month we change it again, so that people are always like, oh, I never know what it is we're going to be doing at the school. We're always doing something new. There's pluses to that, but then there's some real serious minuses also. I saw a Facebook meme the other day that said, no sparring, no JKD, or something like that, right? So now, does that mean that every student has to be in free sparring from day one in order to be doing Jeet Kune? So obviously not, because everybody's not ready to spar at day one. But we do know that ultimately they will have to engage in sparring. So instructors have to make sure that we structure everything that comes before sparring in such a way that it facilitates our students into giving good accounts of themselves when they do get to the sparring, right? So what does that mean? So that, for example, that means that the drills have to come as close to sparring as possible in movement, in application, and even in attitude, right? Because if we do that, then we will be engaging in substantive teaching, right? So understand this. I don't mean to be digging into any instructors, but I do have to tell you that if some of what I see on social media platforms is supposed to be representative of the art of Jeet Kune, then it's no wonder that there are some people who think that the art is in trouble, right? Okay, so this was part one, because as I was doing this, I thought, you know what? There's two other areas kind of connected to this whole flash over substance that I wanted to talk about. So we'll do those over the next 2 weeks, right? So that's it for today. Feel free, share, like, comment, ask questions if you want, and I will review it after posting. Sign up for notifications for when we go live here on Facebook. And also, please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channels and subscribe and hit the notification bell over on the YouTube for the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast, for the Jeet Kune Do dialogues, and also for the Slow to Start FMA files, right? Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods, on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods, at ilovejeetkunዶ.com, the Quick Skills Series Volume 1 available. Coming up this Friday. We were supposed to have a double header, but we've got to shift things around. So we'll just have episode number 86 of the Jeet Kune Do dialogues with Lamar Davis of Hardcore Jeet Kune Do. So that's this Friday, September 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right? Okay, today is Blue Day. There you go. And I'll see you back here next week for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.